I exited the building onto the roof 13 minutes after I'd entered via the ground floor. In that time, I had disabled all magical and mundane security, eliminated any resistance, and retrieved the package on the 15th floor. Now I was arriving at the extraction point 2 minutes ahead of schedule. A transport helicopter blew past, circling the building. The sound of its blades was magically dampened, but the obfuscation spell coating its black hole was doing a terrible job of obscuring it from sight, and it wasn't going to hold in broad daylight for much longer. Null 5 and Tech 5 darted ahead. The nullifier and telekinetic systematically swept the rooftop, visually checking that the area was clear of adversaries. I could sense that it was, but relying solely on magical senses was negligent, and we were anything but inept. The black armor they wore was stark against the landscape of pale gray, blue, and white buildings that occupied the downtown core of Los Angeles. It was the same armor I wore, magically fortified and flexible, but neither of them carried the twin blades sheathed between my shoulder blades. The sky was hazy, the temperature typical for early spring. At least that was what had been highlighted as need to know on the mission brief. Some spells were affected by extreme changes in temperature or an excessive amount of sunlight. Bristling with magic, the remainder of the extraction team flanked me, ready to protect the package at all costs. After more than 2 years together, we had little or no need for comms, magical or mundane. We would often move in silence, instinctively working together without the need for verbal orders. When orders were necessary, I had the final say, but I usually deferred to the commanding officer, Mark Calhoun. We cleared the egress, hunkering down to the side of the upper stairwell to wait for a direct path to the pickup. Jackson peeled away from the group, stepping back to the steel exterior door. She pulled a roll of red tape from the zippered pocket on her upper left thigh. Starting at the bottom right corner, she ran the tape up and then across the edges of the door, revealing a series of inked runes. Adhering the tape to the steel and concrete, she activated a barrier spell with a bluntly uttered command. Energy flashed through the inked runes, sealing the door behind us. Sorcerer magic. Becca Jackson, aka X3, was the team's demolitions expert, but her magic worked both ways, securing or shattering as needed. Sunlight cut through the permanent haze that hung over the city, momentarily blinding me as it reflected off something to the west. I angled my head, clearing my sightline but sensing nothing magically amiss, though securing the extraction point wasn't my task. It was exceedingly unlikely that an adversary could have gotten any threat, magical or otherwise, past Clay 5 or Tel 5, and the clairvoyant and the telepath were monitoring the mission from the roof of a neighboring building. The helicopter circled to set down. I reached back for the package, ready to run with him. He'd been tortured by magical means, but had made it most of the way up the stairs on his own 2 feet, supported between Piper and Hannigan. As a werewolf, Sasha Piper, aka X5, was the enforcer for the team, stronger, faster, and more brutal than everyone but me. The sorcerer, Tom Hannigan, aka X4, was a shield specialist. The team huddling around me were all weapon wielders, but I preferred to keep my hands free. I was more effective in close contact situations. So in corridors and stairwells, I'd lead with Null 5, who would nullify any offensive spells, but in an open area, such as the rooftop, the team would take the lead. The package shifted closer to me. Cool fingers sought out and found the naked skin between my glove and sleeve, wrapping around my wrist. I glanced down. His own skin was medium brown, fingernails manicured into a smooth shine. A prickle of energy shifted between us. My empathy power, bringing his heightened emotions with it. I felt his lingering fear, coupled with relief, pain and weariness. He'd been lashed to a chair, barely conscious when I'd found him. I had drained 2 of his shapeshifter captors myself, taking the first before the other had even known I was in the room. The second fell while she was still staring at her partner in morbid terror as I incapacitated him. Or perhaps it had been specifically me who'd terrified her.